Well, good evening. God bless everybody on this fantastic day that the Lord have made. As we often say, this is the day that the Lord have made. We will rejoice and we're going to be glad in it. And thank God he allowed us to come forward with this day. Um, we're excited about another opportunity to bring you some reliable sources, and we want you to stay tuned for some outstanding programs that we're going to be dealing with in our very, very near future. So we're waiting for you all to come on in. Come on in. We know we missed you on last Monday, um, but we wanted you to enjoy your holiday and have a great time. And I trust many of you did, if not all of you. I know that Lady Brenda and myself, we had us a great time of relaxation and enjoying our family as well as friends. So y'all come on in, come on aboard, get on aboard, and we getting ready to have us a fantastic time on tonight. As we often say, if you miss this now, you're going to miss God. We're only going to miss you. So come on in, and we're going to wait around a little bit. I got my producer and my main man here, T-Dog. Thank God for him getting us all set up, rearing, and ready to go. Man, there are so many wonderful things that's happening. Good evening to you, daughter Tanya. Bless your precious heart. There are so many super exciting things um, that is in the atmosphere that is waiting for us. God bless you, daughter Kiki. Thank you for sharing. Appreciate it. Um, I am super excited. I thank God for salvation. I thank God for His Spirit, and just making life worth living. As a child of God, when you walk into God's purpose and God's will, um, you really enjoy life. I'm thinking about Kiki. If I didn't know God loved me like He loved me, I'd have been jealous the way you got blessed on yesterday. The Lord really showed He loved you. I'm excited about the things that God has promised us that's getting ready to come to pass. I'm talking about in His Word. So thank you, Tanya, for sharing. Good evening, Marcinda. Bless your precious heart. My main man and producer, Terrence Kingdom, King of Games Woods. God bless all of you all. But, I told you, and I want this to really resonate in you. God's not preparing a blessing for you. The blessing is already prepared. We just have to stay on track. You can't be distracted. And really, y'all, really, aren't you glad that God don't judge us like man judge us? Aren't you glad that the scriptures say, God said, I don't see like a man see. Man look on the outward appearance. God said, I look at your heart. Aren't you glad that's the way God looks at us? Fabulous, fantastic. So I'm excited. Bless you, Kenyatta. I am so excited. Um, I'm glad God doesn't bless us, keep us according to our goodness. Now, this is not a license for us to become discredited, rioty, indifferent. No, we've been down that road. We've seen that movie before. We're not going back down that road. But what I'm saying, in the midst of everything that we've ever done that wasn't pleasing in the eyes of God, He didn't throw us away. He didn't cast us out, but He has kept us in His tender loving care. So I'm super glad, and I'm really thrilled and excited about it. All right, we're gonna bounce around a little bit here. Um, on tonight. Now, look, don't y'all let me and Kiki be the only ones saying how good God is. Somebody got to say amen, or I'm with you. I see it. I believe it. He's been better to me than he's been to you. I mean, something. God has been phenomenal to all of us. But anyway, I wanna hold myself accountable into the fire about some of the things that we said that we're going to be talking about. And we're going to be talking about some of these things really soon, from sports, politics, religion, science, health, marriages, being single, racism versus prejudice. We're going to be dealing with a lot of these things, and then we talked about how we're going to be talking about mental health versus mental illness. What's the distinct difference between the two? What causes it, either one of them, to come on? And then what's the solution? So that's what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about mental health versus mental illness, the difference between the two, and what causes both of them or either one of them to come upon us, and then what's the solution? And we know obviously it's prayer, and so we know that, but we want to tell you how to pray. The Bible tells us in Ephesians 6:10, God said, put on the whole armor to be able to stand against the wiles of the devil, and after done all to stand therefore. And then he breaks down the armor: helmet of salvation, breastplate of righteousness, sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God, feet still with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Anyway, he lists all the weapons, but then if you remember, he says, and then pray for everything. After we got on all these weapons, then we got to pray. So we're going to get into that. But the first thing I want to talk about is let's deal with mental illness. Mental illness. What causes? First of all, I need somebody to describe, dissect, or give me the definition of mental illness. Tell me what it is first now. And then after you tell me what it is, tell me what causes it. Where do it come from? Because it's important that we know this, because you may run across somebody with one of these conditions, and you're going to have to know how to help them. You're going to have to know how to deal with them. Then I want to say this while you're getting your thoughts together. You never know. I thought about this, and this could happen to any of us. You never know somebody that we know, that may be shut up in a house, or holding someone hostage, or threatening to kill themselves. And then you may have to be called in as what you call those people? Negotiator. You may be called in as a negotiator to help negotiate, talk to them, talk them out of what they're doing. So anyway, you never know. You never know what curveball life is going to throw you. So it's best to be prepared. It's best to know and be prepared and never have to use something than to have, or than to need it and don't know what to do. So anyone want to give me the definition? Before you give me the solution, I need to know what causes mental illness, not mental health. Mental illness.
Well, Bishop, I'm looking. They give kind of both a definition for mental health and mental illness while I was looking it up. I'm gonna post a definition they have on here, and I'm also post a link. But what they're saying is the terms of mental health and mental illness are.
I just want mental illness.
Mental illness. So, so mental illness. What they're saying is, okay. It said mental illness are diagnosed conditions that affect the thoughts and behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying with that.
Okay. Now we're gonna go somewhere with this, and we need you to go with us. Mental illness. Say that again, T.
Mental illness is an illness that are diagnosed the conditions that affects the thoughts and behaviors.
Okay. Mental illness is a condition that affects the thoughts and the behavior. Anyone agree, disagree? You want to add to that? Again, it's a condition that it adds to, or
like it's like I guess from what the definition is saying, it's like your thought process and your behavior patterns. I guess.
Okay, thought process, your behavior. That's what the condition does. So I guess what could be saying, and one of y'all can help me out through here. It can cause you to act or behave a certain way, but then it also starts in the mind. Okay, I see Terrence have posted what he said. Diagnosed conditions that affect thoughts and behavior. All right, Marcinda, I see you. Mental illness has at least 4 types: anxiety disorder, personality disorder, psychotic disorder, and an eating disorder. That is really good. That is really, really good. I hope y'all see that. It has at least 4 types: an anxiety disorder, personality disorder, psychotic disorder, and an eating disorder. So she just dove a little deeper into what Terrence said about conditions that affects thoughts and behavior. It's good. Tanya, mental illness are from stress or a form of abuse. Okay. Tanya says it's from stress or form of abuse. That's good, and we're gonna work with those 2 definitions that Tanya's given us, along with some more. But so what would name me somebody that can cause me to stress? Name me something that what do people stress out over? What's the definition of stress? Need somebody to help me with that. Tell me the definition of stress, because I may not have the right definition of what stress is. Then I want to know, after I get the definition of what stress is, what can cause me to end up stressful. I guess you all are typing, researching, thinking, praying.
Well, what they got here is a stressful life situation such as financial problems, loved ones, death or divorce, an ongoing chronic medical condition such as diabetes, brain damage, result serious injury, traumatic brain injury such as violent blow to the head, traumatic experiences such as military or combat.
It's good. It's good, and that's pretty. It's pretty in depth too. Mm-hmm. That is good, and that's pretty in depth. Okay, I see Tanya says also things that we have no control over, but we allow it to have control over us, and that's good. Boy, y'all giving some good meat here. Things that we have no control over, but we allow it to have control over us. That's really good. Yeah, because we do. Okay, I see. Sister Tammy is saying stress, pressure of life. She says the pressure of life. I see I don't know to call you my sister or cousin, but Rosie, you know you're all that to me. Love you. Um, but Rosie got another good point. Lack of rest. Man, y'all got some good meat on these bones. Lack of rest. It's good, and what Tanya said and Terrence, what you said, they were extensive, but good. But I can see Tanya, Tammy, and Rosie is really breaking it down, making it real simple for us. Kiki overworked, yep. Overthinking, boy, that's powerful.
Wow.
That is
Yeah.
powerful. Overthinking, the brain, the mind, overwhelmed. Boy, that's good. Y'all, this is good because see, Kenyatta, very good. Doubtful thoughts. See, something you know what I found out, y'all. Sometimes God is so phenomenal. The mind, the brain is so powerful, man. And y'all bringing in some good stuff. Keisha, I feel you. Constant worrying. I got you, Rosie. That's my girl. Hey, but y'all know what? See, sometimes God is so awesome. Some of us can be going through this, have went through it, or we can be dealing with it now. And you start digging up the depths of it. This is the kind of stuff that make people really commit suicide, or they go into a state of depression, because all of the aforementioned things that we're talking about, people deal with this stuff. I think that was Tammy that said, just life trials, just things that happen to us in life. It makes us have to deal with all of this. And truth be told, we don't always deal with it right. And here's Tanya with another good one. Not allowing your mind to be at rest. Okay, Marcin, the stress overall has a toll over the body, inward and outward. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. So now, again, these things can be eating at us, or at some point it will try to eat at us. You remember yesterday when I was preaching, and I was talking about discouragement, how sometimes it'll just follow you. Everywhere you go, there's discouragement. I mean, even go to the bathroom, which you get in the shower, the bathtub, go do recreation, theater, work, movie, on your way to work, coming home from work. It's all, always there. And so we need to learn how to deal with these matters. Wow, Rick, that's a good one. Mr. Rick Martin says, focusing on problems rather than the solution. That is powerful. That is powerful. Absolutely right. And these things, it can sort of be like what's the word? Allergy. Doctors found out years ago, and I still don't think we give enough attention to it. Allergies play more role on us than just sneezing and runny eyes and sinus problems. It's been diagnosed that allergies can also cause pain to be in your body, make you think you got arthritis, bursitis, heart trouble. And it's all because of something you're eating that you're allergic to. I'm saying that to say this. That's how mental illness can be. It could play such have such a toll on our body until we really don't realize that's what's going on. It's coming from mental illness, or as some of you all have said, overtasking ourselves, overall stress, and focusing on problems more than the solutions. I think Tanya said earlier about worrying about stuff you can't control, and we end up letting the stuff we can't control us. So these are things that we're going to have to learn how to get a handle on, and we're going to have to learn how to deal with it. All right, so we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to talk for a minute about mental health. Now, we just got done talking about mental illness, and we come to the conclusion that is all kind of changes in emotion, thinkings, and behavior. We come to that conclusion, and now before we go to mental illness, I want to ask you all a question: can and should mental illness be treated medically or with medication, and should it be? Can mental illness be treated with medication, and should it be treated with medication? If you say yes, should it be treated? I want to get some feedback on that. Can mental illness be treated with medication, and should it be treated with medication? And I know we've heard all kind of stuff about that, so I want to see what you think. I want you to tell me what you think about that particular question. All right, I know you're typing, and I know you're thinking. I know you're getting it together. I know you're putting it together. All right. Kiki says, yes, if there's a chemical imbalance, she says, I think so. She say it should and could be. So I'm reading her right. It should and could be, because if there's a chemical imbalance. So when you're saying, Kiki, help me now. When you're saying chemical imbalance, are you talking mentally, emotionally, when you use the word chemical imbalance? Something is not in balance mentally, emotionally. Let me know. I just want to know that. All right. Tammy says, yes, it can. Yes, it can. It can be treated. Yes, it can. So it can be treated. Should it be treated mentally? Thank you, Kiki. Should it be treated with medication? Okay, I got two yeses. I got a yes from Kiki, yes from Tammy. Anyone else think it can be and should it be treated? And then, I want to know why too, Marcinda. In reality, medicine doesn't cure mental illness. It just improves the illness. So, sort of like that old commercial, I guess Marcinda's saying years ago, they say, how do you spell relief? ROLAIDS, and then say how you spell healing, how you spell relief. Okay, all right, Tanya, are you agreeing with Marcinda, Tammy, Kiki, all of them, or none of them? I see your yes. Kenyatta, yes, through prayer. You're too smart. Keisha, it can be, but you said, but it's still there.
I think his spiritual torment is over. I kind of like that.
Wow.
I like that one because that was gonna be my thought. I was like, it can be cured, but sometimes to me, we can't blame everything on the devil. Sometimes it's us.
Right.
Let's say, for instance, I'll say, we can stop doing this, but if we allow it to stay in us, eventually it's going to grow back out.
Mm-hmm.
So I get what Keisha was saying with that one.
Yeah, and Rosie's fighting back too. She say Jesus.
Yeah.
That's a powerful name, powerful word, and it works. Yes. Keisha, okay, if mental illness causes a physical problems, yes, treat. That's very good, Tammy. Yeah. That is very good. All of y'all, this is great. Keisha, yours is very good too. I want to say this regarding any medication. Now, I don't know. Okay, let me get Tanya here first. There are medicines that can calm the nerves in the brain, but it doesn't cure it. Some people have to take meds. Okay, yep. That's that, and that's where I was going. That's where I was going, right with what Tanya just said. And Keisha's is very good too, because she's saying, basically you can take meds, but it's still there because it's a spiritual problem. You know how this is some good stuff, and it's very important because I've heard all kind of horror stories, and I know some of you all have too, of people that was asked to take medication for mental illness, and it seemed if they ever stopped, they were worse than they ever was, was in the beginning.
You think that's like
So
a fear? Like they put that kind of fear in them when they say stuff like that? Do you think? Do you
I,
think?
I don't I don't know. I don't. The reason I wouldn't say yes to that
Mhm.
is because they don't know the fear. They start taking it.
Ah,
Then once they start taking it, and these are some of the stories that I've heard. They
mm,
start taking it, and then if they stop, they get worse
mm,
because the medication is sort of like a drug addict.
right.
Their body has to function now with that medication. So when you take away the medication, you take away that part of the body that depends on it to function.
Right.
And so it doesn't function properly. Um, so it's really something. I would never tell no one not to take medication, but I would tell them to do your homework, unturn every stone, know what you're putting in your body. Is it addictive? Will my body get accustomed to living with this? In other words, will I ever be able to live without it? And of course, Rosie and Kenyatta let us know that prayer, Jesus,
Mhm.
destroys every yoke.
Mhm.
Um, but it's really a very tedious subject, because again, and I'm going back to what Kiki was saying about the mental chemical imbalance when it's really spiritual,
Mm.
and I can see Tammy saying that as well. And so, we want to always put prayer on that. I'm gonna come back and deal with that. But since these two first cousins, or either these twins, mental illness and mental health work together, let's get a little bit about mental health, and then we'll wrap it all up with our deliverance. So you deliverance people, y'all hold on to your deliverance answers. God bless my good friend from the great state of Texas. Amen. Minister, preacher, teacher, Anthony Hawkins. Lovely guy, man. All right. So we're gonna and please help us out, Hawk, if you're gonna be here for a minute. We're gonna deal with mental health. Somebody tell me what mental health is. Now keep in mind, we're gonna deal with prayer and Jesus. We know that's the ultimate cure. But what give me the definition of mental health? What is it?
So what they're saying here is
Uh-huh.
a person's condition with regard to their the physiological and emotional well-being. So
Okay.
yeah,
So
I'm gonna post that. So
Terrence is gonna post that site he got where Tanya, you're all in the spirit, precious. The Bible calls it a dumb spirit. So prayer is always good. Didn't I tell you to hold your deliverance until later? But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So it can be, but mental illness, the difference. I want somebody to tell me the difference between mental illness and mental health. And we know that they're both dealing with mental or emotional stuff. So what's the difference between the illness and the health? Remember, you can never solve a problem until you know what the problem is. You first must identify it. And deliverance preacher Tanya, she just identified it, calling it what Jesus called it, a dumb spirit, and it is. But you got to be able to identify it. I'm telling y'all something, and then I'm gonna get your response. Bishop, great man of God, here in the city of Detroit, where most of y'all in Detroit would know him. He used to work with mental patients, and I had a case where someone came to me and they were on medication mentally. They were stressing out and they were taking medication for it. And he told me, he said, Bishop, if they've been on the medication, keep them on the medication. Don't take them off, because, he just broke it down into them spirits. They have become a part of them now. And, it got to be given special attention and prayed out. So we'll come back to that and revisit that. But it's good to get to the root of the problem so you know how to deal with it. All right. Minister Elder Hawkins says mental health in the natural is like physical health. Okay. Break that down. I think I know where you're at, Hawk, and that sounds really good. You can make it a little plainer for us. I think I know where you are. And okay, Val, her phone is still frozen. Mental health, Tammy says, refers to your words ran together, I think, Tammy. Can you make that out, T?
I'm trying to.
Okay. All right. But again, it's psychological. Okay, here's Elder Hawkins coming back to us. The illness is when your thoughts and emotions are affecting your mind to the point of chemical imbalances, causing your actions to act out in an unhealthy fashion. My God. Y'all see, that's why Hawk is the man. I mean, that is a great definition of what mental health is. I want y'all to read that again. The illness is when your thoughts and emotions. Now, remember, Terrence told us it was a psychological and emotional thing. And Hawk takes it a little deeper, dives in a lot deeper, and says your thoughts and emotions are affecting your mind to the point of chemical imbalances. Kiki and Tammy was talking about that, causing your actions to act out in an unhealthy fashion. That means usually you or the person that's acting out going to hurt themselves or hurt someone else, emotionally and probably physically. Because look at one of the words he's using is actions. They're gonna act out what the thoughts and emotions are telling them to do. That's some great stuff. I love that. All right, Tanya says mental health is it's deficiency of the body and brain that causes the mind and body to be. That's good. It causes the equilibrium is off. Yeah, it causes that chemical imbalance. That's really good. So we need to be able, because I'm telling you, at some point in your life, these things are going to come in your life, and you're going to have to know how to deal with it. And you can't be held accountable for what you know, but once you come into the knowledge of something, now you're held accountable for it. And so we know the root to all of this is spiritual. But sometimes you got to deal with the natural to get to the spiritual. If you remember, there were several occasions where Jesus fed folk before he preached to them. He asked questions about their conditions before he cast the spirit out of them. And I know one of the reasons he done that was to let people know that this is a spiritual condition. But I'm just letting you all see all of the actions, the behavior, the chemical imbalance, the mental health dysfunction. I want y'all to see that all of the mental health deficiencies is nothing but a demonic spirit. So, but this is good stuff, and we need to know this. All right, Tammy says mental health thoughts and emotions. Mental heal is diagnosed and deals with thoughts and behaviors. Got it.
At the very beginning. That's
the
first thing we see.
Yep. And so I know this to be a fact too. and y'all heard me probably talk and teach on this, is that everybody in the world at some point in their life, and really until they leave Earth, are going to have episodes of mental health. Because as someone mentioned about mental illness, saying with mental health, you can be overwhelmed. And think about it, even when you're tired, you're not as mentally healthy. We call it not mentally sharp as you should be. Hence, you make decisions that you shouldn't make, or you do things that you shouldn't do. So for everybody at some point gets overwhelmed. Like somebody said, I think it was Rick. He said we spend more time looking at the problem than the solution. And then sometimes you got to even be careful trying to dig up a solution. If you can't get it right away, you got to know how to put it up, pray, and we'll come back and revisit you. We got to learn how to deal with mental health and mental illness wherever they meet us. If it's personally, and I literally, I'm not figuratively speaking, I mean literally personally, if it is personally, or if it is figuratively, with somebody, or indirectly with somebody that's close to us. How are we going to deal with this? How are we going to handle this? How y'all tell me something, class. How can I be angry and not sin? How can I harness my emotions and I can get angry, but I don't sin? How can that be done? Stress, grief, brokenness, anger are triggers to mental health issues. Yeah. Hey, my producer over here, Terrence, say somebody preaching today. Y'all see that? Now we wanted causes. We wanted something to cause us, and here it is: stress, grief, brokenness, anger are triggers to mental health issues. Okay. So now, all right, and Marcinda, right on point. Don't forget depression. Absolutely. Mr. Rick, if you don't deal with mental health, it turns into mental illness. Very good point. Very good point. So now y'all, some of this stuff is going to hit all of us, but how can we keep it at its distance, or at, for lack of a better word, what's acceptable? Because now I want you to hear this. Marcinda uses depression, triggers it. Hawk mentioned stress, grief, brokenness, anger triggers it. And it does. Somebody mentioned earlier financial issues, relationship issues. So how do I because when people that you love die, you gotta grieve. That's part of your grievance is part of your rehabilitation or coming out of it. But how do I not let stuff go overboard? And I really feel we need to know, because we're gonna have to deal with this. How do I stop myself from going overboard with grief, with stress? How do I fight off depression? How do I recognize it? How do I fight off brokenness? How I don't let it go? How can I get angry and not sin? Y'all tell me. Come on, I need to hear.
So what was the question again?
How do I deal with stress, grief, brokenness, anger, depression, all of the things that trigger mental health? These are things that trigger mental health. And Mr. Rick had a good point. He said, we don't deal with mental health, turns into mental illness. And you can just get smothered. People get in a black room and don't want to come out. Discouragement have turned into depression. How do I stop discouragement from turning into depression? Okay, Kiki says, take time to think before we act. Very good point. Very good point. And say never act off emotions. Very good point. I hope we're getting this. Tammy says, express your emotions civilly without physical aggression. That's very good. Very good. Wow. Keisha says, I talk to God. She says, I talk to God. Now, all of this is good. Let me see here. Elder Hawkins is saying, in the natural, one must have someone to trust and talk to, allowing you to cool down, process time, engaging in literature that addresses the grief process and apply the steps. It's good. That's like an answer I would give if I was taking a test on mental health. I would pass. That's some good stuff. Keep your eyes on positive things like the things of God. All right, these are things we need to do, y'all. Everything that everyone has responded to is absolutely right. Marcinda, treat yourself with kindness and respect. It's good. It's good. Tanya, understanding that some things we can't control. It's a part of life, and not allowing so much time with the things that's going wrong in our lives. Now, Tanya's hitting on a little bit of where I'm going, because now all of y'all gave great answers. But how many times have all of us not done what all of us have said we need to do? I mean, we just went overboard. We not only got angry, but we sinned. I think it was Tammy said, avoid physical altercations. You know, you can damage and hurt people with your words. That can be just as bad as physical sometimes. How many times have we went overboard? I'm saying all of that to say this. We got to learn how to do what Kiki said, which I think it was so simple, but so powerful. Not act out of emotions. We can't, because you know when you see, and I'll just give you a brief analogy, and we'll come back and deal with some more of this. When you see like a road rage shooting, that means somebody didn't control their emotions. One got hot and another got as hot or hotter. When you see stuff like that, it was somebody that didn't control their emotions. So we got, the Bible talks about how a soft answer turneth away wrath. And so we got to learn how to give soft answers. Give you another analogy, maybe not better, but if you remember, General Custer was determined to beat Sitting Bull at Little Bighorn, and all General Custer had to do was get his men and flee, turn and go back, get some help and come back. Blow the horn, call the cavalry, call some help. But he stood there and got defeated, he and his army, at Little Bighorn by Sitting Bull. And Sitting Bull was such he was such a, for lack of a better word, a hero, until they made a nickel that was called the Indian nickel. And it was Sitting Bull on one side and a buffalo on the other side. I know y'all was in baby heaven. Y'all don't remember that. But my point is, history could have been rewritten if he would have just turned around and fled. I'm saying that to say this. You don't run from the devil, but you run for peace sake. A good run is always better than a bad stand. Just like Joseph. When Potiphar's wife tried to get him to lie with her, he took off running. She got his coat, but she didn't get him. Good run is always better than a bad stand. So sometimes it's good to hold your peace, even when you don't want to. Be in control. If you think about this. We're gonna go back and revisit some of this stuff. But the Bible talks about in the book of James how that every beast of the field has been tamed and can be tamed. Think about it. Cobras, elephants, tigers, lions, all kind of reptiles. But God says the tongue can no man tame. Now he said can't no man tame it, which means God can tame it. But my point of emphasis is this. We got to learn how to not only let God tame, control our tongue, but we got to get God to help us with our thought pattern, our thought process. And we got to do, and I think that was Kiki that said this. I thought it was really profound. Simple, but so profound. Think before we act. Think before we speak. Think before you roll your eyes. Think before you, because some of the emotions that we let out is just as bad as speaking it out. So you know the old saying, "A picture's worth 1,000 words." Sometimes your facial expression is saying what you want to say. You ain't open your mouth, but your expression is. That's just as bad as saying it. So we got to learn how to be in control of our lives. We got to learn how to do that. The other day, I was around some people that I know don't care for me. And they came into my presence. And when they came into my presence, I didn't turn. People getting on my nerves and walk away. I said, hello, God bless everybody. Said it nice, loud, and smiled. And went on about my business. In other words, I'm controlling the atmosphere with friendliness. Now, I ain't telling you got to do that. I'm saying that's what I did. I set the tone. I set the atmosphere. So now, you're going to look bad to everybody if you try to cut up and look a fool. And all I'm saying is, if you control you can control your atmosphere. You got to learn how to do that. That's very, very important. Can't say that enough. All right. So we're going to get ready to wrap up, but we got to hit these spots. Oh, it's good stuff, Tanya. Understanding that some things we can't control. It's a part of life, and not allowing so much time with the things that are going wrong in our lives. Very good. Absolutely right. Marcinda, try to avoid self-criticism. Yes, in extension. You know what I mean? You want to always check yourself, but at the same time, you don't want to beat yourself up. Okay, Minister Rick, you must have the fruits of the Spirit down in you. Constantly work on self with humility. Very good point. Absolutely. Elder Hawkins, Pastor Hawkins, always remember how you look at the glass. Is it half full or half empty? This is some good stuff, man.
You know what, too, Bishop?
That y'all hitting us with. What's going on?
So
No, I'm done.
Oh, it's like when you say when something bad happens, wherever there's a loss of a loved one or anything that don't go away. It's okay, like you said, it's okay. All right, cry, get it out, but don't stay there.
Right.
And so I think that's another thing too. That a lot of people who go to something like that, they stay there and they don't know how, and they forget that people, like you said, first definitely pray about it, but then also you also have people who are willing to help you, and some people don't understand that. Like don't stay down there. You have help. First form, you do have God, and then God will give you people to help you get out of that, out of that situation, to get out of that. That's
very good. That's what Pastor Hawkins was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Find you somebody that you can trust, that you can talk to. But that old saying years ago, they had the wristbands. What would Jesus do?
Oh, what Jesus do? Yeah.
sometimes we be like, I ain't thinking about what would Jesus do. This is what I'm going to do.
Mm-hmm.
No, we got to do what Jesus would do. Mm-hmm. All right, and then here's Marcinda being honest. Help me, Lord, with my facial expressions. Yeah. See, so, and because really, as I stated earlier, sometimes our faces say it. Our faces. I guess Keisha must be the same way because she's saying guilty. Yeah. Then I see Pastor Hawkins is talking on using one of the scriptures that we've been talking about off and on all year as he think in his heart. Proverbs 23:7. So is he. So and and one of the things that we can also do, y'all, that is really good and can really help us is think positive. Think positive. Don't always be thinking negative. Don't think all the time because two people are talking and you walk in the presence and they shut up. Don't think that they're talking about you. And because if they were, what you gonna do? I mean, some things we bring up on ourselves. So we got to learn how to control my atmosphere. You got to learn how to control your atmosphere, and it all starts with positive thinking. And I don't mean that from a worldly standpoint. I just mean it according to the word of the Lord. In the book of Philippians, he gives us in the 5th chapter, he gives us a list of things to think on. Whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of a good report, so forth and so on. We gotta think on those things. All right, and then because again, mental illness, mental health, Minister Rick says starts in the stomach, and then he also said it can start in the mind, and all that's true. And you can look, and I think it was Marcinda said earlier. Don't criticize yourself too much, because you can be like, man, you can measure yourself up against someone else, and you can look where they are versus where you are. And God has a course for all of us, and some of us don't take the same course, even though we go to the same church. Some instances we have the same parents, but God still has a different course for us. And so I can't get upset at someone that seems to be making it further than me, because God could have a shorter course for them. You got to remember that. And so that's one of the ways, as Marcinda was saying, you're part of growing is criticizing yourself, but you don't want to go into overkill, just beating yourself up and talking about all of the negative things that are around you. I'm telling you, if you don't do this often, it'll be hard to do it. But get up every morning with a positive mind. Say this is going to be a great day for me. Say I'm going to accomplish everything that I'm supposed to accomplish today. Now, this is just stuff that I do, and most days I do. Some days I don't. And the devil, a lot of days, throw wrenches in to get me off track and off guard. But, all these things is part of life. You get in there and you hang in there. And look, if there are people like, I think about Keisha, and I just get amazed how some of y'all don't know it, but she was on she had a breathing tank with her. She used to care with her. God healed her. He led us to this product, but he healed her. And now she's not on the breathing tank anymore. This is my point, y'all. God can deliver us from anything that we ask him to deliver us from, and that we're willing to let go of or give to him. These are things that we got to do. And you got to, one of the things that bothers me in life, if I let the devil use me to hurt any of my brothers and sisters, I can't stand that. If I let the devil use me to hurt my children, I'm not talking about physically, my wife. And I'm not talking about physically. I'm talking about just do something, say something. That bothers me. And I don't want to hurt anyone by the devil using me. So I told y'all this before, and it bears repeating. Brother Kenny, and I said it publicly, so I know he don't mind me saying it on the air. I had words at his 70th birthday party, and I told the story how Kathy Williams was singing a song, and her and Kenny had been going at it all day this Saturday, and she was just getting the best of Kenny. And y'all know anything about Kenny. Kenny don't like to lose, and Kathy was wearing him out. And so later on that evening, it was a wedding at the church, and Kathy was the soloist, and Kenny was working the audio board, and he just kept turning the mic up and down. At a wedding, kept turning it up and down, up and down. And boy, she was struggling. And when she got off the mic, she ran back there where Kenny was. So you make me sick. She was really hot because it was embarrassing. Letting the devil use you. Kenny said, hey, don't get the devil my glory. That was me. So I'm saying that to say this. Don't even let you use you to come against your brothers and sisters. Praise God. Think positive. Let people know when they see you coming, something good going to be said. There's going to be good vibes. You know, I'm so grateful. People haven't used that word when I come around, but they've used the word of like the atmosphere changes. And I'm so glad of that. I mean, for the good, because I'll come around not with a sad story, not to push somebody down, knock somebody down, but to help get them up, help pull them out of what they're in. Hey, I didn't overtalk my time. I appreciate y'all so much. And yes, we're going to do like Kenyatta said. We're going to resist the devil in all areas of our life. And then he'll flee. We draw nigh to God, resist the devil. He'll flee. And let's keep a positive state of mind. What do y'all say about it? Praise God. Love y'all so much. Good to see you, even though it's just by the way of Facebook. But I appreciate you immensely. Stay positive. Read Philippians, that last chapter, and think on the things that he said. Whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are of a good report, whatsoever things are honest, and if there be any virtue, think on these things. Think on the positive things. As you think in your heart, so you're going to become. If you're not married, see yourself married. If you got a marriage and it ain't good, see yourself with a great marriage. If your finances is not the way it is, I'm serious, y'all. See yourself financially better. If your body is not healthy, see yourself healthy. See yourself better. Speak it. Expect it. I don't care what's going wrong in your life. Remember, if things go wrong, don't you go with it. You keep going right. And I thank God for you. And remember this. Check out the sources of people that are telling you something. Because what they're telling you, if they haven't done their homework and it's a lie, they're relying. And the sources are not reliable. Thank you for tuning in to Reliable Sources. Love you. We'll get you next time.